Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. Arsenal's special player really doesn't want to leave. Emile Smith Rowe has really gone backwards over the past 18 months. Cast your mind back 2 years and you'll remember that Smith Rowe was arguably the most important player in the Arsenal team. He was starting every week, scoring tons of goals, and he was playing with incredible confidence. However, after a vast improvement from Gabriel Martinelli and a string of injuries, the England international can't buy a game at the Emirates right now. There has been plenty of speculation around a potential departure for Smith Rowe, but according to Dean Jones, speaking on the Ranks FC Ultras podcast, the player himself isn't so keen to leave. Indeed, Jones says that Smith Rowe wants to be loyal to Arsenal and he wants to regain his spot rather than moving on. Jones shared what he knows about the special midfielder. He said, I'd sell Emile Smith Rowe to be honest. What is the point of him? He's worthy of more minutes somewhere else. I know he wants to be loyal to Arsenal and he wants it to work out, but it's not going to. As much as we'd love to see Smith Rowe back in the team at Arsenal, we really can't see how he gets back into the team. Gabriel Martinelli and now Leandro Trossard are ahead of him in the pecking order down the left flank, while Martin Odegaard is immovable in his own right in that number 10 position. Smith Rowe's stance is admirable. Loyalty is really hard to come by in football these days, but if Arsenal aren't going to place any faith in him, perhaps his loyalty is misplaced in this instance, sadly. The reality is that Smith Rowe may be better off pushing for a move away from the Emirates at this point. Chris Sutton says one Arsenal player is finished at the Emirates after Liverpool game. Spare a thought for Nketiah at Arsenal. The striker had to watch from the bench as Arsenal took on Liverpool on Sunday as Kai Havertz was chosen to lead the line ahead of the England international. Nketiah, for some reason, wasn't trusted to start in his natural position against Liverpool on Sunday, with Mikel Arteta instead opting to use Havertz in a position he doesn't play all that often. Speaking on the It's All Kicking Off podcast, Chris Sutton has been discussing Nketiah's snub at the weekend, and he reckons that the striker doesn't have a future at Arsenal after Sunday. Sutton shared his verdict on the striker. He said, I have to say, I have an opinion on Kai Havertz. If I'm adding Nketiah, I'm wondering how I'm benched, and I don't have a future at Arsenal if I'm not starting as a central striker. He is desperate, I get that, but what message does that send to Nketiah if Havertz is at number 9? What is Nketiah thinking? If I'm Nketiah, I'm thinking I can't stay at Arsenal any longer. If you play a guy who has been affected and has shackles on, come on, he has no future at Arsenal. Sutton is right, Nketiah has to be questioning his future after being benched on Sunday. When your manager is choosing a midfielder to start up front ahead of you in a big cup game, you have to question how much your gaffer actually trusts you. It's not as though Nketiah is a young player anymore. He is 24 years old. He should be starting more and more, not dropping out of the team for some experiment with Havertz. The January transfer window is open, and we wouldn't be shocked if Nketiah started making some noises about wanting a move after being dropped this weekend. Fabrizio Romano on Arsenal's stars' future as potential replacement transfer linked. It doesn't currently look like anything is close for Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey to leave the club, despite transfer rumours involving a potential replacement in the form of Amadou Onana being targeted. The Gunners have an appreciation for Onana after his fine form at Everton, according to Fabrizio Romano, but the journalist was also keen to point out that this doesn't necessarily mean that anything is happening with Partey. Speaking exclusively to Count Offside for his daily briefing column, Romano explained that the Ghana international looked like he could leave in the summer before Mikel Arteta changed his mind and decided to keep him. And now, it seems like it might again be a saga to watch in the summer, according to Romano, with Partey also currently injured, meaning any departure looks more complicated. He said, We know Arsenal have issues in midfield because Thomas Partey has barely played this season due to injury. Onana is a fine talent who could offer something similar in midfield, but it's still early to know what will happen with Onana and also with Partey. If you remember in the summer, Partey was already considered as a candidate for sale until the end of June, but then Mikel Arteta decided to keep him, so anything can happen there in the summer. For now, it's very quiet as he is injured now, so there are no concrete updates so far. Arsenal fans would surely welcome a signing like Onana to replace Partey. However, as the former Atletico Madrid man has had so much trouble staying fit in recent times and just doesn't quite seem reliable enough, even if he is a quality player when he is available. 24-year-old Arsenal star is unhappy with manager Mikel Arteta. After losing 3 games in a row and scoring just 1 goal in those games, an unhappy player in the squad is the last thing Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta needs. Arsenal have been knocked out of the FA Cup, and their title hopes have been severely damaged after recent defeats against Aston Villa, West Ham and Fulham. Goals are not coming for the Gunners, and Arteta is trying to utilize all his options to make the Arsenal attack work. After Arsenal's FA Cup exit against Liverpool, Reiss Nelson admitted that he is unhappy with his playing time at the club. The winger was given a start by Arteta against Liverpool, and his performance in the first half was impressive, but as the game went on, he failed to make a huge impact. Speaking to the Standard, Nelson said, "Yeah, I have said this before, but Arsenal is my club since I was 8 years old. Of course, I want to be playing much more than I am right now. It's good to be coming off the bench, but I want to be starting. I feel like I'm improving myself every day in training, so with this momentum, I want to go on and keep playing. I signed my contract. I'm here now, and I have just got to prove to the boss that I deserve more minutes. Like I said, when I get chances to play, I can prove myself and show everyone what I can do." Arteta is currently looking to bring attacking reinforcement to his squad, and it could mean that the chances will become hard to come by for Nelson in the near future. The 24-year-old will be looking to leave the club in the summer if his playing time remains the same. Arsenal receive boost in race for Euro 2020 star as rival Premier League club not interested. Arsenal have been handed a boost in their pursuit of Roma left-back Leonardo Spinazzola, as the defender has not been included in a rival club's transfer list for January. According to La Roma, the Italian outlet reported this week that the Gunners are one of several clubs interested in the Roma star, with the Premier League rivals Aston Villa also named as a potential destination for the fullback. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, Spinazzola has not been included in Villa's plans for the January transfer window. Nevertheless, the transfer journalist did state that the left-back is set to leave Roma in 2024. The Italy star is out of contract at the Stadio Olimpico at the end of the season, having spent 5 years in Rome, and there is no chance that the 30-year-old will sign a new deal. Spinazzola would have come to a lot of Premier League fans' attention with his performances at Euro 2020, as he put in some incredible attacking displays. The left-back would be a risk worth taking by Arsenal this summer, as he will be a free agent, but the defender is known for being injury-prone. Mikel Arteta's current left-back options tend to miss games also, so this is something for the Spanish coach to consider. £100 million star would welcome Arsenal transfer approach, says expert. Transfer news expert Ben Jacobs has provided an update on Arsenal's striker search and the situation surrounding Brandford star Ivan Toney this January. Speaking exclusively to Out of Sight for his daily briefing column, Jacobs explained that while Toney would welcome an approach from Arsenal, there also seems to be a sense of loyalty towards Brandford. The England international also currently looks unaffordable for the Gunners, with some sources suggesting it could take as much as £100 million to get Brentford to sell their star player this winter. Tony would surely be an upgrade, but as things stand, it doesn't look particularly likely, according to the latest information from Jacobs. He said, Arsenal are not currently in talks for Ivan Toney, even though many fans feel he'd be a perfect fit. What's true, though, is that Toney would welcome an approach from Arsenal. There is no guarantee Arsenal, much like Chelsea, will sign a striker now as opposite to waiting until the summer. And in Tony's case, it's just a very expensive outlay to make anything happen. Brandford want £80 million plus, and some sources even indicate they would hold out for £100 million before even entertaining an offer. That's out of Arsenal's budget for January. Tony has also on record he feels he owes Brentford for their support during his ban for gambling breaches, so it's more likely at this stage he stays at Brentford in January. This is also down to the fact Brentford need him to help get them further clear of the relegation zone. Remember, Brian Mbeumo is injured and Wissa is at the African Cup of Nations with Congo. This will make them even more reluctant to sell Tony now. A new Tony contract at Brentford also can't be ruled out, but the challenge is matching his desired wage. But Brentford don't feel any rush, and although it's true Tony is starting to plan for his next move, free agency in 2025 is not impossible either. Jacobs also added some information on Nketiah's situation at Arsenal, with Crystal Palace interested in him, but with Mikel Arteta seemingly keen to keep him as part of his squad. Sky journalist shares Calvin Phillips' update amid links with the Premier League suitors. Newcastle United, Liverpool, Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur are just four of the clubs that have been linked with Calvin Phillips in recent weeks. Most of the recent speculation surrounding the Manchester City man involves the Magpies, but there have also been links with the Reds, the Gunners and Spurs. Sky Sports journalist Darmish Sheth has now provided an update on the state of play involving Phillips. It's good news for the likes of the Magpies, the Reds, the Gunners and Spurs, as it involves another big suitor that has reportedly dropped out of the race. Juventus have been heavily linked with the England international, but according to Sheth, they are no longer pursuing him. He said, Newcastle will be interested in Calvin Phillips. Juventus, up until a couple of days ago, appeared to be the front runners to try and sign the England midfielder, but the information we have is that the Serie A side won't be pursuing that deal as it stands. It appears the manager Allegri is happy with his squad and he doesn't require the profile of player that Phillips is. Of course, that can change, and we are still relatively early in this transfer window, but as it stands, it looks like Juventus won't be signing Phillips in this transfer window. Sheth also speculated that a straight loan deal would probably be Man City's best bet in terms of getting Phillips' transfer value back up ahead of potentially selling him and recouping as much as they could for him. Should Phillips get back into England contention and make the Euro 2024 squad, it would put him in the shop window when it comes to the summer market. Let's see what happens in the coming days. Newcastle will probably fancy their chances of landing Phillips on loan. It may not be the case with the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal or Spurs, who are all direct title rivals at present. £50 million player is now Arsenal's most likely midfield signing. His agent was in North London on Monday. Amadou Onana has been named as Arsenal's most likely midfield signing after his agent was spotted in North London on Monday. The Everton midfielder has been heavily linked with a move to the Emirates stadium over the past few days. There have been claims that Amadou Onana is tempted by the idea of leaving Goodison Park, with Arsenal pushing to sign him. Mikel Arteta will be keen to bolster his squad as he bids to get Arsenal's season back on track following a miserable festive period, but top quality additions are hard to come by in January and the Gunners may be forced to wait until the summer before they are able to land their top target. And according to the Evening Standard, Onana is the most feasible option for Arsenal when it comes to midfield target. The outlet claims that while Everton's financial issues are well known, it's difficult to see them offloading a key player like Onana in January. With the Toffees facing the threat of relegation after a 10-point deduction, Arsenal may have to wait until the summer. But it's noted that a summer move for Onana is most likely for Arsenal, with Chelsea and Manchester United also expressing interest. The Belgian's agent was spotted in North London on Monday and is thought to be sounding out interest ahead of a possible summer move. Everton demanded around £50 million for Onana over the summer, and that fee isn't likely to come down following his displays of late. The 22-year-old has been a key man under Shindaich this term, and it would be a huge surprise to see him head out the door mid-season. While it's frustrating for Arsenal, it looks as if Arteta may be forced to wait until the summer when it comes to landing his top targets. That will undoubtedly dent their hopes of lifting a Premier League title, but the Spaniard has enough quality in his squad to turn their recent form around. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.